Hi, my name is Amber Dahlberg, and today we'll be discussing organ registration. Choosing stops at the organ is surely an art form. Like painters know their colors, organists learn the sounds and qualities of each of their stops. They use that knowledge in combining the stops to create beautiful sounds. When we learn what each of the stops mean, we can create sounds that will both support congregational singing and match the mood of our prelude and postlude music. There are 4 families of organ tone: principals, flutes, strings, and reeds. Principals are unique to the organ and are unlike any other instrument. They represent the typical organ sound. Common principal stop names include principal, diapason, choral bass, octave, and 15th. Flutes are just what they sound like. They mimic flutes. You will see the names flute, borden, gedeckt, and nocturne most commonly. Reeds include both reed and brass instruments that you may be familiar with. You might find an oboe, bassoon, clarinet, trumpet, or crumhorn on your organ. Strings imitate violins, violas, and cellos. String stops are commonly named viola, gamba, violo da gamba, and solitional. You can find a more detailed list of common stop names in the description box. Along with the stop names, you will also see a variety of numbers on the stops. These numerals indicate the length of the pipe you are playing. Most importantly, they reveal the pitch of that stop and are called pitch designations. If you draw an 8-foot stop and play middle C on the organ, you will hear the pitch at the same octave as you would on the piano. However, if you draw a 4-foot stop and play middle C, you'll hear it sound an octave higher than middle C. A 2-foot stop would sound 2 octaves higher than middle C. If we go the other way, a 16-foot stop will sound an octave lower, and a 32-foot stop, which can only be found in the pedals, will sound 2 octaves lower. Mutations are easily identified by the fraction on the stop, the most common being 2 2/3, 1 3/5, and 1 1/3 foot. Mutations sound at some letter name other than the actual key played. Mutations are used most effectively when added to a chorus type combination or used as a colorful solo combination, such as the 8-foot together with the 2 2/3 and 1 3/5. A 2 2/3 stop sounds 1 octave and a perfect fifth higher than an 8-foot pitch. If I play middle C with a 2 2/3 Nazard, I will hear the G an octave and a fifth higher than middle C. A 1 3/5 stop sounds 2 octaves and a major third above an 8-foot pitch. If I play middle C with a 1 3/5 tierce stop, I will hear the E 2 octaves and a major third higher. A 1 1/3 foot stop sounds 2 octaves and a perfect fifth above an 8-foot. If a 1 1/3 stop is drawn and middle C is played, the G 2 octaves and a perfect fifth higher will be heard. Mixtures with their Roman numerals are very high-pitched stops. They're designed to be used only with the support of lower 8, 4, and 2-foot stops. Mixtures add brightness to the ensemble and are most appropriate in jubilant hymns. A coupler adds the sound from one division into another division. You will often see swell to great, swell to pedal, and great to pedal on a 2-manual organ. What would happen if we selected swell to great? All of the sounds selected on the swell would be added to the great. This way we can make a very full sound by playing on one keyboard. If we selected swell to pedal, those same sounds from the swell would be added to the pedal. Now we will register the hymn, Guide Us, O Thou Great Jehovah. I will build a principal chorus for this, which consists of principals 8, 4, and 2 on the great, and principles 16, 8, and 4 in the pedals. You may see different names for the principal, such as diapason, octave, super octave, 15th, and choral bass. Now let's register a softer, more meditative hymn, Abide With Me. I will choose Principals and Flutes 8 and 4 on the great, and I will choose Principals and Flutes 16 and 8 in the pedal. The registration you choose for prelude and postlude depends on the piece you are playing. If you are playing a hymn directly from the hymn book, you can play on one manual with softer stops. Make sure the pedal is balanced to the manual stops. If the piece calls for a solo in one hand, choose your solo stop first. It can be on either the swell or the great. Then you choose stops for your accompaniment that are softer than the solo, yet supportive. Remember, the pedal is part of the accompaniment, so you can use a manual to pedal coupler to balance it, along with a 16-foot stop. How do we save these combinations of stops to use for later? To do this, we will use the combination action feature of the organ. We will first need to select a memory level. Most electronic church organs have about 16 memory levels. Choose a memory level that can be yours and that you can save your combinations to. Sometimes you will find that memory levels are locked, often 1 and 2 or 15 and 16. This is because they are factory preset combinations. The round buttons underneath each manual are called pistons. There are two types of pistons that can set and recall stop combinations: general pistons and divisional pistons. General pistons can set combinations for the entire organ, the swell, the grate, and the pedal together. Divisional pistons only set combinations on one division, either the swell, the grate, or the pedal. After selecting your stops, press and hold the set button to your lower left. While holding the set button, press the general piston number you would like to save it to, and then release the two pistons together. To check that your combination was saved, press the cancel button, and then press the general piston you used without the set button. Your stop combination should be recalled. If you need to make a registration change for only one division, you follow the same steps, making sure to save it to the divisional pistons rather than the general pistons. That's all for today's video. I hope you found it helpful, and be sure to check out the next video about how to play hymns now.